All right, I just want to keep going over section 8.2, graphing the inverse functions, right? And you get these weird sort of curvy shapes. And the next piece of the puzzle is this is our parent again. The asymptotes are the x and y axis. But now I want to do, what if this number is not 1 anymore? What if it's like 3 or 8 or -8? So to investigate this, I'm going to use Desmos here. So I have our parent graph shown 1 over x. Okay, and then I'm going to start to do the other ones too. So you got to kind of predict, what do you think the 3, a 5, and 8, what do you think it's going to do? Okay, and so in previous lessons, we learned that that makes it stretch. So the bigger the number that gets, the more it's going to stretch, right? So there's what 3 over x looks like. 5 over x just stretches out a little bit further. And as you might imagine, 8 over x just stretches further. Kind of makes this cool pattern. Okay, and then we talked a little bit about it in the last video, but if it's negative, then it's just going to flip to the other two quadrants. So -8 would be both a stretch and a flip. So if I turn that one on, it flips it, right? It flips the purple one. So it's still stretched like the 8 is, but just now flipped over. Okay, so if it's negative, it's going to flip it to the other quadrants. Okay, so I'm going to have you try to graph one like that, and then also do domain and range. This one has a bunch of stuff going on. It's going to go down 6 because of the -6. It's going to go left 3 because of the +3. And then it's going to be stretched because of the 5. And then it's going to be reflected because that 5 is negative. Okay, so when we draw it, sorry again for the poor handwriting there, but we're going to be centered around left 3 down 6. So here's going to be our center. And then I'm going to draw the asymptotes quick. All right, and we'll add some equations. So the horizontal one is a y equals line, so it's y equals -6. The vertical one is an x equals. It's going right through -3, so it's x equals -3. All right, and then when we draw it, I'm going to draw it up in these two quadrants, right? Not the normal two, but these two. And then I'm going to stretch it by a little bit because of the 5. So I'm not too picky about the stretch part. It's just not as tight to the asymptotes, I guess. But the main thing is that you know it's reflected. I'm not going to grade super strict on a graph on how tight or how much the stretch is, really. I'm not too worried about that. I do think it's good to do the domain and range one more time, so pause the video if you haven't figured that out yet. Domain is going to be all real numbers except our asymptote, so that would be the -3. Again, sorry for that poor handwriting. And then the range is going to be all real numbers except, again, look at this asymptote, so it never hits -6, so it's all real numbers except -6. Okay, final piece is, so far we've been taking the equation, making the graph. The next one is a little bit different. It's going to give us the asymptotes, and we have to come up with the equation. Okay, so my approach is always to do it visually. You actually don't have to draw the graph here, you just have to get the equation. But to help me get the equation, I would definitely sketch the picture. So I'm going to draw in my asymptotes, my little line tool here. Sorry, this takes me a second. Get the color black. Okay. X equals -2 goes up or down, up and down right through -2 on the x-axis right there. Okay, and then y equals -3 goes horizontally through -3. Okay, and the graph is just going to look like this. Okay, so that's just our parent shape again. Sorry for the poor drawing there, but it got shifted by the looks of it. It looks like we went left 2 and down 3. Okay, so for my function, I'm going to just do 1 over, and then because I went left 2, I'm going to do x plus 2 to make it go left 2, and put a -3 on the back to make it go down 3. Okay, and that is the equation that would match those asymptotes. There'd actually be more than one equation because you could have this be like a 4 or 5 on top, but that's at least one of them. All right, that is all I got. Thank you for watching.